Hi and welcome back to another tutorial video. Today we will be drawing this hyper-realistic portrait of Cristiano Ronaldo, using pencils only. So without wasting any time, let's get started. These are the art supplies I used for this drawing. You can pause the video and note them down if you want. I drew these outlines using grid method. If you want to learn how you can draw outlines for any drawing, then watch this video from the cards. The sketching paper I used is of Strathmore 400 series, and its drawing area is 9 by 12 inches. If you want to buy the same one, then I have dropped the link of it in the description down below. Okay, now moving on the drawing. To draw the hairs, the first thing you need to do is either take an indenting stylus or an empty ballpoint, and draw such helping lines for the bright sharp hairs. Then draw a base layer using a B pencil. Avoid high pressure strokes, as the graphite will get stuck in the indenting lines you drew earlier. Now blend this layer using a smooth brush. Draw the second layer using a 3B pencil, and again blend it using a smooth brush. For the final layer, use a 6B pencil to draw such strokes where required. Give it some detail, using a mechanical pencil. For the sharp highlights, use a Mono 0 eraser or any other sharp tip eraser. Later draw the extremely bright highlights at the edges using an electric eraser. For the hairs in this part, firstly darken the outlines using a 3B pencil, so that they can't fade away. Now blend this layer using a smooth brush. Now draw the dark shades in the hair using a 3B pencil. Accordingly, also apply 6B graphite powder over the dark areas. I drew these remaining hairs, using the same method of building layers and blending them. For the bright highlights, use an electric eraser, and for the highlights in between, use a Mono 0 eraser. Here I drew the background using a charcoal pencil, as it gives a pitch black shade to the drawing, but if you want to use graphite pencils or powder, you can use them. Also draw these minor details in the hairs, using a jelly roll pen or a highlighter. Okay, now moving on to the forehead. First slightly darken these areas in the forehead using an HB pencil, then apply B graphite powder over these areas. Remember to draw these shades in a circular scribbling motion. Now blend all of these layers together using a clean brush. At the end, use a tissue paper to further enhance the shades. For the realistic skin texture, firstly use a perfection eraser or a normal eraser, and draw such dots and lines. Also repeat it on the other side. Now use a Mono 0 eraser and further brighten the highlights. Only draw over the previous highlights, else the entire skin texture will get messy. Also draw some shades in between the highlights using a B pencil, as it will give the skin a realistic look. For further bright highlights, use an electric eraser. At the end, take to B graphite powder and apply it over the dark areas, using a tissue paper. For the eyes and cheek part, Firstly, darken the outlines using a B pencil. Draw the base layer in eyebrows using a B pencil and then blending it with a brush. And later darken it with a 3B pencil. For the sharp highlights in eyebrows, use a Mono Zero eraser. For the eyes, first darken the pupil using a 6B pencil, and for the sclera use an HB pencil to create a gradient. Also shade the rest of the eye using the same pencil. Similarly, draw the second eye. At the end, blend all of the shades in the eye using a smooth brush. Also draw the highlights in the eye using a Mono Zero eraser. Following the same process, draw the base layer, and then blend it accordingly. By the way, if you want to watch these tutorials and videos in real time and in up close, then join my exclusive Patreon community. Join us for as little as $1 a month, because your support makes these tutorials possible. Also, unlock your artistic potential with our $5 tier, gaining access to a growing library of hundreds of real-time tutorials where you'll watch your favorite pieces come to life before your eyes. Plus, get an edge with our outlines grid reference images that'll take your artwork to the next level. And that's not all, you'll get access to 5 new tutorials every month. And also you can share your art on our community tab for a chance to receive personalized critiques that will elevate your skills. Your journey towards artistic excellence starts here, so don't forget to subscribe to my Patreon today. Link is in the description down below. For the skin texture in the cheeks, draw such dots and lines with low pressure. I am using an HB pencil here, but you can also use a B pencil. Blend this specific part with a smooth brush. Now add the highlights using a Mono Zero eraser. Draw these highlights in between the dark lines and dots you just added. This area contains one big highlight, so add the highlights accordingly. Clean some extra graphite using a perfection eraser or any other eraser you have. Now brighten the highlights using an electric eraser. Don't erase the lines and dots, else you'll miss the realism in the drawing. Now using a 3B pencil, ray darken those strokes which got erased during the process. using a 5B pencil. Darken some parts of the eye as well. Draw the eyelashes using a sharp tip 3B pencil. Also add the highlights using a Mono Zero eraser. I drew the other side similarly. For the nose, first draw the second layer using a 3B pencil, and then blend it using a smooth brush. For the sharp highlights, use a Mono Zero eraser, and for the softer highlights, use a kneaded or a perfection eraser. Darken some of those areas which got erased. At the end, draw such dots in order to gain hyper-realism. For here, draw a base layer using an HB pencil, and later add the highlights using a perfection or a kneaded eraser. For hearing, use an electric eraser or a jelly roll pen, as the highlights here are very bright. Also draw the other ear similarly. Extend the background to the cheeks part. Also draw these minor details using a jelly roll pen or a highlighter. I drew the remaining face similarly to how I drew the cheek. For the upper lip, use an HB pencil to draw the shade, and then blend it using a smooth brush. For the lower lip, use a B pencil to draw the texture. Now apply B graphite powder over it. Later blend it with a tissue paper. Now use a 3B pencil to draw the texture in the lower lip. For the sharp highlights, use a Mono Zero eraser. And by the way, if you're looking to have your very own sketch created, then do check out my Fiverr account. You can join through different tiers, and if you join through the premium tier, then I'll handcraft a hyper-realistic sketch of you and even showcase the process of it on my YouTube channel. Plus, across all tiers, you'll receive printable versions of your artwork. So don't miss out on this chance to own a unique piece of art. Link is in the description down below. I also drew the neck part similarly to how I drew the face. The only difference is that the shades here are a touch darker. Draw the texture in the shirt using an HB pencil. Now fill the entire background using the same charcoal pencil. And this is how I drew this hyper-realistic portrait of one of the great, Cristiano Ronaldo. If you enjoyed watching this and learned something new from it, then don't forget to like and share this video. And if you want to support this channel through Patreon, then do check out the link in the description. Also, a sub to the channel will be
nice.